person. She would have wanted everybody to be, not so down and depressed and just, so I thought I'd do something that, I want this to be very, obviously, of course, but try to everybody remember the great person she was. She's looking at right now. Jamie said she's got a eulogy you wrote. I'm not going to go ahead and give her some hope.
Yeah, you gotta hurry.
Okay, so yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, all of you, for coming. This occasion, as sad as it is, Liz would be so gratified and so uplifted seeing you all here and her friends. And she was a light in all of our lives. I spent the last few days thinking about Liz.
A little louder, Jim.
I spent the last few days thinking about Liz, remembering and deciding how I would present her in this eulogy. And I'd like to read it to you. I put these thoughts and remembrances paper in memoriam for her. I know right now she's listening. I'm sure she's smiling. Nearly 10 years ago, Liz came into my life. She was beautiful, vibrant, endearing, and encouraging. But at the same time, she was down on her luck, and she was somewhat adrift. Over a painfully short number of years, she had lost her family, her home, and her son Colby in an acrimonious custody battle. She was in desperate need of a refuge, safe and secure, to stay her tumultuous life. My daughter had recently moved out of the house in New York. So I took Liz in, and so began an extraordinary 10-year adventure. Liz loves her hobbies and home crafts, which span the gamut from beadwork, jewelry creation, furniture refinishing, gardening, as well as being a professional interior designer. And she would spend endless hours flying these passions. And she would particularly revel in the joys of growing things. And she possessed a legendary green thumb. Sometimes late in the evening, I would watch her outside on the back deck, tenderly nurturing her babies. Her cosmos and crocus, hibiscus and hollyhock, jasmine and jade plant, salvia and sweet pea. They were all as her children, and she would minister to them as a doting parent. She was so good at growing things, she could make roses flourish and blossom in a heartbeat. Elizabeth was 59 when she passed away. I never called her Elizabeth. Very early on, the name Elizabeth morphed into Lizard, and then Lizardo, then Zardo, and then finally Zard. She was often irreverent, irascible, funny, crazy, kooky, antic, buckish, mischievous, unpredictable, spontaneous, and always lovable, with a charisma none to live. But best of all, what I loved about her the most was her childlike qualities that kept her so young at heart. At any given moment, she might break into a ZZ Top medley or dance around the house in her inimitable Zardo style. When she was up and her spirits lifted, she was an absolute joy. Lizzy had a love for creatures large and small. She adored and protected animals. Whether it be a bird, a hamster, a hedgehog, a cat, a dog, she would rejoice in their exuberance, feel their pain, and mourn their loss inconsolably. But Layla, the pit bull, whom you all know, Layla was the love of her life. They were inseparable and reveled in each other's company. What is more, they were favorite sleeping buddies. I often peeked in on them in the evening or early morning, and there they'd be, all snuggled up against one another. Two girls, like two bugs in a rug. Liz was most proud of her biggest and best accomplishment, her only child, Colby, the two of whom were inseparable for 22 years. If Layla was the love of her life, Colby was the reason for her existence. Despite their tempestuous relationship, her devotion to him was incontrovertible, and never, ever did she compromise nor marginalize her support of him. She always loved him dearly, with a mother's love, unconditional and unwavering. Although to many, Liz presented herself as a woman with a touch and heart and soul. Down deep, Sarda was a little girl. She was delicate and fragile, and easily broken. She was never prepared to meet the head-on challenges of life. In some ways, retreated to a fairy tale world of pretty flowers, home and garden decors, and home crafts. One of her favorite activities was reorganizing the house. Despite my protestations, whenever I went out of town, her nesting and re-nesting instincts were insuppressible, much to my dismay. But when I come home, I wouldn't be able to find anything. Liz had a big heart, perhaps even too big, and she would never fail to help a friend. She was generous to a fault. Sometimes that would be her undoing. There were many who would take advantage of her kindness, unfortunately. She was so vulnerable in that way. And being human, as we all are, she would sometimes stray from the straight and narrow. But she always meant well, and always tried to do the right thing. I will miss Zordo incalculably. I will miss her smile, her raucous laughs, and little squeals. I will miss her in the morning when she'd make her cappuccino, and late at night, in the evening, when she'd obsess on bejeweled candy on the theater. I will miss her puttering around the house, always with an eye to make it a more beautiful home. I'll miss her energy, her beautiful heart, her sweet spirit. I will miss her to the end of my days, the precious life taken way too early. But as much as I will miss her, there are no words to express her adored son Colby's loss. So we are devastated by her loss. We should not be here to mourn with her, but rather to celebrate her life. Liz faced many challenges in life, not the least of which was her health. She always maintained an optimistic outlook, an irrepressible spirit, an implicit faith down deep that tomorrow would bring a better day and things would be looking up. For Liz, there really was a rainbow out there, and with unbridled enthusiasm and certainty, she was bound and determined to find it. As testament to that blithe spirit, I'd like to call on Shelby Turley